Hello, this video is going to be me going over your first assignment for this semester. So as you can see on the document, your first assignment is going to be due this Friday, not Sunday, so it's a little bit of a mix-up, so make sure that you remember that it's not Sunday, but Friday, September 24th, by the end of the day, like usual. When you submit your paper, it's going to be through the submission site on Blackboard in the assignments folder, so don't get confused. This up here is just giving you, the usual on how to complete your assignment. It must be submitted through Blackboard, it has to be typed. It should reach at least 4 pages double spaced, and by 4 pages I mean all the way to the end of the 4th page. You're going to have specific sections that we are going to be included in this paper, which we're going to talk about in a second. So don't worry, you will definitely hit the 4 pages as long as you follow the instructions. And if you go over by a little bit, that's fine too. They must be 12-point font. Don't mess with the margins. Leave the margins alone. Don't add any extra spaces. You'll hit the 4 pages and you'll be okay. Make sure that when you are writing your paper that you're careful not to plagiarize any of your information. So part of this assignment is going to be describing a character in a movie. You don't necessarily have to cite the movie itself, but just make sure that you're not, making a lot of direct quotes from the movie, and try to paraphrase instead. Paraphrasing is, taking those words from someone else and making them your own to convey the same meaning. So direct quote should be avoided when you're also citing the book. So part of the assignment is going to be information that you've learned in class. So you must cite the book at least once in your paper. You'll definitely need to cite it more than that, but just make sure that you have those citations in there or you're going to lose major points. That would be a huge deduction in points if you did not include a citation. You don't have to include a works cited page at the end of the assignment unless you are bringing in additional sources. So most of this paper, all of this paper can be done using the movie, book, comic book, whatever media form you choose. It could be completed with just using that and with using the course textbook. So those are the only 2 things that you are required to cite. And if those are the only 2 things you use, that's fine. You don't have to include a works cited page. If you include something else, if you wanted to add some more information and you needed to get it from a different source, that's fine. Just make sure that you cite it in your paper, and you will then need to include a works cited page. So that's up to you if that's what you would like to do. So just remember that it needs to be submitted through Blackboard. There's going to be a submission site in the assignment 1 folder by Friday at 11:59. Oops, sorry. Okay, so what is this paper all about? So you are going to be taking the concepts that we've learned in class and applying them to pop culture. So you are going to start by choosing a character that has committed some type of crime. So they need to be a criminal. They don't have to be a lifelong criminal. They don't have to have committed the most serious crime that you could ever think of. They just have to have committed some type of crime. So it can be a character from any media source, a movie, a book, a TV show, a video game, comic book, any type of media is fine. It just has to be fictional. So make sure that you're not picking a real person, but somebody who is a actual fictional character in any of these media sources. If you really want to do a real life criminal, a lot of times people kind of get hung up on that. Don't worry, the last assignment that we're going to do this semester is going to be on a real life criminal, so you can always save it for then. So after you've picked your character, the first part of your paper is going to be describing to me who that person is, and giving me a little bit of background, telling me what crime they committed, and any type of details that you think is important for me to understand how you're going to connect this character to a specific theory that we've learned in class. I don't want your whole paper to be a description of the character. I don't need to know the entire movie plot. I don't need to know every single character that's in the movie. Just include information that's going to be relevant to talking about the crime and connecting that crime and criminal behavior to a theory that we've learned in class. So, for example, if you're talking about any of the psychological theories that we just covered and you want to talk about the criminal's mother, that would be, helpful, but just make sure that you are sticking to things that are related to your character and your character's offending behavior. So I need to, have some background information in order for this to happen. I just don't want the whole paper to be focused on this. Okay, so as I've alluded to, you're going to then pick a theory to explain your character's criminal offending. You're going to choose a theory and you're going to explain it in detail. So that's part 2 of the paper. So the first section is going to be the background characteristics and talking about the criminal behavior of your character. And then the second part is going to be talking about a specific theory that explains their behavior. But you're not going to link the two. This section, the second section, is talking about the theory itself. Tell me about the theory, tell me details about the theory, and any research that's relevant to the theory to, kind of prove your point. So the theories that you can choose from are going to be coming from this list right here. So you can choose any of these theories that are laid out for you. So make sure that when you are going through that you don't pick a category of theories, that you're actually picking a specific theory. So you can't just say biological theories. You have to pick one specific part. If you want to use a theory that doesn't appear on this list, it's probably not going to work, but I can't guarantee that. Send me an email and I'll let you know for sure. Do not use a theory that's not on this list without talking to me first, because we need to figure it out if it's going to work, so you don't lose points. Okay, so first section, talking about your character. Second section, talking about the theory. And the third section, section C, is where we bring it all together. So here you're going to be integrating the theory with your character's behavior. So you use this theory to explain why your character, sorry, the mouse is annoying me. Use this time to talk about why this theory explains your character's offending behavior. So like if we're going back to one of the psychological categories and we're talking about the effect of the, let's say we're talking about attachment theory and we're talking about how, the character was unable to form close bond with their mom when they were younger because of maybe she was a substance abuser, she neglected her child, he grew up feeling, no strong attachment to anybody, and that is why he was okay committing the crime that he committed. So you want to go through the theory in detail and link it one-on-one with what's going on in the character's life. And then that's it. So most of your paper should be focused on sections B and C, explaining the theory and applying it to your offender's behavior. Once you get working on this, you're going to blow through it. It's going to be so easy for you to figure it out, and I really enjoy reading these. So when we're talking about grading, these are what the points are going to be based on. How well you explain the character, because if you just talk about the character and you don't talk about their criminal offending or things that matter for their criminal offending, then you're going to lose points. Describing the theory of your choice in detail. So it's not enough to just say, this is the theory. Make sure that you go through specific points, especially ones that relate to your character and their offending. Applying the theory to the character obviously is going to be the biggest part. Make sure that you're integrating your theory to your character. This is what helps you really learn that theory and make sure that you have all the concepts down. And this is going to help you on your exam also. So also make sure that you're using appropriate citation. So you have to use the citation in text after, whatever it is that you've taken from the book, after you paraphrase. So if you want to know how to cite, look up at the top of this document, and it's right there for you. Can't make it any easier. You're You're also going to be graded a little bit on how well the paper is written. So things like grammar, spelling, organization. Please don't get too hung up on this part. I know most of my students are, English is maybe their second language, and so writing may not be 100% on par with, the perfect grammar, spelling, and organization. That's totally fine. I just need to be able to read it. So make sure that you put in the effort, and I want to make sure that it's not sloppily put together. So make sure you take the time and the effort to do the paper right, but don't get, too freaked out that if you miss a comma, you're going to get points taken off. If you need help with writing at all, I have posted some information from the Writing Center in your course content folder on Blackboard. So if you go over the side column, look down, you'll see course content. Click on that. There's a couple of flyers in there that talk about the Writing Center hours and some of the workshops that they're holding this month. So if you need help, that's a great resource for you. Also, if you need help deciding on a character, if you want to check with, make sure that the theory that you chose makes sense with the character that you chose, you can feel free to email me, and I would be more than happy to help you out. If you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, good luck. I can't wait to read these.